From Lou Williams, who openly joked about having two of everything, including women.
Two of everything. Two attitudes, two cars, two Chanels, two all that shit.
To Ime Udoka's situation, where his partner hinted at their open relationship.
I think the key to any relationship is give your partner the room to be who he needs to be.
In this video, we're looking at basketball players who are in open and non-traditional relationships. Let's begin with Lou Williams. Lou Williams played 16 seasons in the NBA, 3-time Sixth Man of the Year, the all-time leader in points scored off the bench. He retired in 2023 after stints with the Lakers and the Hawks, but the part of his career that gets the most online traffic has nothing to do with scoring. In 2014, Williams joined the Toronto Raptors. Around that same year, reports surfaced that he was dating two women at the same time.
Two of everything. Two attitudes, two cars, two Chanels, two all that shit.
Ashley Henderson, often called Blonde Ashley, and Reese Mitchell, called Brown. Both women were aware of each other. Both attended games. Both sat courtside. Henderson was the longer-term partner. She was already the mother of his first two daughters, Jada and Zoe. Mitchell came into the picture around his Toronto move and is the mother of his third child. The two women referred to themselves at times as sister wives. They reportedly hung out as a unit, attended birthdays and holidays together, and showed up at Raptors games seated next to each other. Then came Drake. In 2015, on the song Six Man off If You're Reading This It's Too Late, Drake rapped, "Six man like Lou Will, two girls, and they get along like I'm Lou." That single line moved the story from gossip blogs into the mainstream. From then on, the two girlfriends tag followed Williams everywhere. Years later, his former Raptors teammate Tyler Hansbrough recalled the dynamic in interviews, describing both women as model tier and noting that nothing Williams did on the court could top the lore he built off it. Williams himself addressed it in a 2018 Sports Illustrated profile while playing for the Clippers. He confirmed the romantic side with Henderson had ended, but said he was still with Mitchell. He also pushed back against the idea that he was the only player doing this. In his own words, "More players do that than you know. I was just the first person to have it mentioned on a song." But the moment that captured how much he wanted to defend the women involved came on Taylor Rook's Bleacher Report show, where he made it clear those weren't random women.
Well, I just want to tell you how much of a hero you was. We heard you had two women at the same time.
By the early 2020s, both relationships had wound down. Co-parenting stayed the priority. Williams retired with 3 Six-Man awards and one of the most talked about personal arrangements in modern NBA history. He was the first. He wasn't the last. Next on the list is Andrei Kirilenko. Andrei Kirilenko was born in Izhevsk, Russia in 1981. He was nicknamed AK-47 for his jersey number and for the way he hunted shots and rebounds at the same time. He played 13 NBA seasons, mostly with the Utah Jazz, and made the All-Star team in 2004. He led the league in blocks in 2005. He was a defensive nightmare and a versatile forward who once dropped multiple 5x5 stat lines. He was also one half of the most openly discussed marital arrangement in NBA history. Kirilenko met Masha Lopatova at a Moscow basketball event when they were both very young. Masha was a Russian pop star with a #1 MTV Russia hit at one point. She walked away from her music career to follow her husband to Salt Lake City and raise their kids. They married around 2001. They have 4 biological children and adopted a baby girl in 2009. Then came the ESPN The Magazine profile in March 2006. The article dropped a detail that lit up American sports media for weeks. Masha had given Andrei what she called an allowance. Once a year, for one night, he was allowed to sleep with another woman. No affairs, no emotional involvement, no second relationship, just one night with her full knowledge, and only one night. Her reasoning had a logic to it. She compared it to telling a child no pizza, no pizza, no pizza, and watching that child want pizza more than anything in the world. She talked about the temptation NBA players face on long road trips, the women lining up at hotel doors, and the way forbidden things become more attractive the more they're forbidden. In her words, "When I'm aware and I let him do it, it's not cheating." Andrei's reaction was less philosophical. He said he was surprised by the offer and stressed that he wasn't planning on using it. He framed his answer with the exact same logic she had used. Things you can't have become more desirable. Things you're allowed to have stop calling your name. The story became radio fodder, talk show fodder, and tabloid fodder for months. Pardon the interruption discussed it. Late-night hosts joked about it. When Kirilenko later signed with the Brooklyn Nets in 2013, headlines resurfaced asking why he'd ever cash in the pass when his wife looked the way she did. In a country built on traditional marriage narratives, the Kirilenkos gave a rare on-the-record peek at a different kind of arrangement. The next name on the list never put it on the record, but his ex-girlfriend made sure everyone heard about it. Next on the list is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was a #1 overall pick, an 8-time All-Star, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, a champion with the 2020 Lakers. For most of his career, he was the most physically dominant center in the league. He has also been at the center of repeated allegations involving polygamy proposals, group sex, and same-sex encounters, most loudly from his ex-girlfriend Royce Reed. Reed is a former Orlando Magic dancer and a former cast member of Basketball Wives. She and Howard share a son named Braylon, born in 2007. Their relationship was contentious in public and stayed that way long after it ended. In 2023, in interviews including one with Carlos King, Reed claimed Howard had repeatedly tried to set up a polygamous arrangement with her at the head of it. She used the term matriarch. She said he wanted her to be the head woman in his polygamy quest. She said he asked her to participate in a setup where he could pursue other women and where group dynamics would sometimes involve her. In January 2025, Reed went further on Cam Newton's Funky Friday show. She claimed she had personally witnessed Howard being intimate with men, often in scenarios involving psychedelic mushrooms. She also claimed she had texts, videos, and messages to back the accounts. None of that supporting material has been released publicly or tested in court. The other piece sits on the public record. In 2023, a man named Stephen Harper sued Howard, alleging sexual assault during a July 2021 encounter at Howard's Georgia home. Howard's legal response, filed in October 2023, openly admitted to consensual sexual activity with Harper and a third individual at the home. The filing said the three agreed to touch one another and to engage in consensual sexual activity. Howard denied any assault and framed the entire encounter as private and consensual. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2024. He has continued to deny being gay in interviews. On the PBD podcast in 2025, his answer was a direct, "Hell no, I'm not gay." But the legal admission of same-sex activity sits side by side with that public denial, and both can be true at once. The pattern around Howard goes deeper than any one accusation. He has 5 children with 5 different mothers, with multiple kids born in the same year to different women. That math suggests overlapping relationships through his peak years, even without anything more controversial layered on top. His current wife, the rapper and reality television personality Ime Udoka, has spoken publicly about how she nearly divorced him within their first 6 months of marriage.
Gotta ask, because I'm the woman in the room, are you legally married to my girl, Ime Udoka?
Howard himself has been asked about that marriage on camera and chose to dance around the confirmation rather than give a clean yes.
Oh yeah, there's always some rumors, but just keep that side of my life private so everybody ain't got nothing to say.
Howard chose to keep that side of his life quiet. The whispers around him refused to do the same. Next on the list is Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman won 5 championships, 2 with Detroit, 3 with Chicago. He was a 7-time rebounding leader, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the most relentless rebounders the game has ever produced. He played the role of human hurricane on the court and pushed every cultural button possible off it. He was also the first major NBA star to publicly play with the idea of bisexuality in front of a mass audience. Rodman's 1996 memoir, Bad As I Wanna Be, hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. To promote it, he showed up at a Manhattan signing in a wedding dress and married himself as a stunt about self-love and rejecting traditional norms. In the book itself, he wrote about cross-dressing growing up in a female-dominated household, about his fascination with drag culture in San Antonio during his Spurs years, and about being open to all sides of himself without committing to a label. His most quoted line from that era was that he wasn't straight and wasn't gay, but he was open. He talked about flirting with the idea of being with men in his head while saying he hadn't crossed that line at the time. Vlad TV revisited that exact passage with him years later. Rodman explained where the line came from.
And I remember in the book, you said something interesting. You said, I'm not straight, I'm not gay, but I'm open to things.
When pressed on what that openness actually meant in practice, his answer leaned away from confession and toward community.
I could go in details, but no, it's just more like, I'm this open individual that loves people pretty much.
He kept going in that interview. He talked about how he doesn't have to be gay to love his gay community. He talked about not judging people for who they want to be. He talked about how the gay community had embraced him precisely because he had treated them with respect at a time when very few NBA stars would. The off-court life backed up the words. In Chicago during the Bulls dynasty years, he partied at gay bars, sometimes pulling teammates along with him. He brought drag queens to games. He wore a shirt that read, "I don't mind straight people as long as they act gay in public." He famously dated Madonna in 1994, eloped with Carmen Electra in 1998 before annulling the marriage 9 days later, and went through a third marriage to Michelle Moyer. His non-monogamy was less arrangement and more anarchy. He told stories about leaving bars at 3 or 4 in the morning with married women whose husbands didn't mind because the husbands knew it was Dennis Rodman. He bragged about having been with thousands of women. He was hedonistic, label resistant, and decades ahead of every conversation we now treat as new. He didn't ask for permission. He took the door off the hinges entirely. Next on the list is LeBron James. LeBron James met Savannah Brinson when they were both teenagers in Akron, Ohio. She was a cheerleader at a rival school. They started dating around 2001. Their oldest son, Bronny, was born in 2004 when LeBron was a 19-year-old NBA rookie. They married in 2013. They have 3 children, Bronny, Bryce, and Juri. LeBron and Savannah have spent over 2 decades as one of the most photographed family units in American sports. They have also spent that same stretch of time as the subject of a very specific NBA gossip thread, the rumored agreed open, or don't ask, don't tell arrangement. The claim, recycled across Reddit boards, blind item accounts, and podcasts, goes something like this. LeBron is allowed to see other women privately. The condition is that he stays a good father, keeps the brand clean, and never lets anything become a public scandal. Some versions describe parties with NDAs. Some describe a list of preferences for the women involved. Some throw in Will and Jada-style comparisons. LeBron has talked openly about the marriage being hard work. In a 2025 Complex interview, he acknowledged that the relationship is never picture perfect and that couples have to work through adverse moments. On Savannah's podcast, Everybody's Crazy, he said he would rather die than be single. He talked about being willing to fight, scratch, and crawl to keep the relationship intact. When LeBron talks about Savannah specifically,
and when I walk through my doors, it's like, you know it's home base. You know it's like, now it's time to recharge.
The language stays inside one consistent lane.
And that's all because of Savannah. She keeps everything flowing.
Recharge, home base, stability. In one Netflix sit-down, he laid it out himself. He gave the credit directly afterward. Women who have been name-dropped in the rumors over the years, including Yes Jules and model Sofia Jamora, have publicly denied any romantic involvement. There are loose claims about DM slides, Toronto party scenes, and old club appearances, but none of it has crossed into anything that would qualify as proof. Either he is exceptionally faithful, or he is exceptionally discreet. The internet has made up its mind. Next on the list is Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka was hired as the head coach of the Boston Celtics in 2021. In his first season, he coached the team to the NBA Finals. In September 2022, just before the start of his second season, the Celtics suspended him for the entire year over violations of team policies tied to a consensual relationship with a female staffer. The headlines wrote themselves. The rumor underneath them moved faster than the headlines. Within days of the suspension news, anonymous claims started circulating that Udoka and his then-fiancée, actress Nia Long, were in an open relationship. One widely shared social media post from an account claiming a league office connection alleged that Udoka was a serial offender with women wherever he had coached, and that the situation was, in their words, cool at home. Outlets like Belavip and Fadeaway World ran with the framing. Long had been with Udoka since around 2010. They got engaged in 2015. They share a son, Kez, born in 2011. They never married. Long had said in past interviews that she didn't view marriage as essential for commitment. Once the scandal broke, Long stayed quiet at first and asked for privacy. By December 2022, her representative confirmed they were no longer together.
Everybody has to define their relationship for themselves. Like, everyone has a different understanding, a different agreement.
But were committed to co-parenting. Long had actually addressed her relationship philosophy on camera with E.T. well before the scandal hit, back in 2020. Some online chatter pointed at that older clip and tried to spin it as confirmation that an open arrangement was in place. The full context didn't support that read at all.
I think the key to any relationship is give your partner the room to be who he needs to be.
In the same E.T. conversation, she had been responding to the Will and Jada Pinkett Smith situation, talking about partners giving each other room. That was Long talking about other people's marriages, not announcing the rules of her own. After the scandal hit, her language shifted entirely. She described the situation as a gut punch. She called it a wake-up call. She said the relationship had been rocky for a long time before the public events. By the time 2025 and 2026 interviews came around, Long was describing peace, healing, and amicable co-parenting, not a structured, consensual, non-monogamous arrangement. She and Udoka still take family trips with Kez. The relationship is over. The open label appears to have been damage control sourcing in the immediate fallout. The Celtics moved on. Udoka took the Houston Rockets job in 2023. The rumor about openness, like most rumors in the league, lived loudly for a week and died quiet. Next on the list is Steph Curry. Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry met as teenagers in North Carolina. They got married in 2011 when Steph was 23. They have 4 kids, Riley, Ryan, Cannon, and Caius. They have built one of the most visible faith-centered family brands in modern sports. That family brand is exactly why the gossip industry keeps trying to puncture it. The most direct version of the rumor came from the anonymous Instagram tip account Dumois around late 2021 and early 2022. The post described a well-known NBA couple who regularly had affairs with other people, with both partners having side hookups while projecting a perfect family image. The post didn't name the Currys. The internet decided it had to be them. That decision was based on vibe, not evidence. The Currys' Christian, family-first persona made them the obvious target for a "they must be hiding something" narrative. Ayesha addressed it directly in January 2022, when a commenter brought the open marriage rumor under one of her Instagram posts. She replied with a flat dismissal. She called the rumor ridiculous. She told fans not to disrespect her marriage. She told them not to believe everything they read. The response went viral. What followed was 4 years of recycled, fact-checked misinformation. Parody accounts on X, falsely claiming divorce filings. Misinterpretations of Ayesha's 2025 Call Her Daddy appearance, where she reflected on initially not wanting marriage or motherhood and seeing herself as a career girl. Edited clips, fake quotes about her demanding $2 million a month in alimony, AI-generated videos. Each cycle got fact-checked by outlets like the Times of India and the Hindustan Times. None of them produced actual receipts. Some of the noise around Steph also got tangled up with his parents. Del and Sonia Curry's 2021 divorce involved mutual cheating accusations. The internet projected that family chaos onto Steph and Ayesha by association. The reality on the ground stayed boring. Joint appearances continued. Family photos stayed up. They renewed their vows around their 10th anniversary. Ayesha kept building her cookbook, restaurant, and television empire. Steph kept playing for the Warriors and showing up in the same family Christmas posts every year. In joint interviews, including a 2026 E! News appearance, they talked about giving each other grace. They talked about Steph being the calm one and Ayesha being the fire. They talked about working through challenges with the same unwavering work ethic that defines the rest of their lives. There is no admission. Sometimes the simplest answer is the actual answer. The next name on the list spent his entire post-playing career proving why most of those simple answers turn out to be lies. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal won 4 NBA championships. He was a 15-time All-Star, a 3-time Finals MVP, and the most physically dominant force in the sport for over a decade. He has spent the years since retirement turning himself into one of the most recognizable analysts and personalities in American media. He has also turned himself into one of the most publicly self-critical examples of NBA infidelity culture. Shaq does not belong in an open relationship conversation in the strict sense. His marriage to Shawnee Henderson, which lasted from 2002 to 2011, was not consensually non-monogamous. There was no agreement. There was no allowance. There was just betrayal. And Shaq has been describing it that way for over a decade. In his 2011 memoir, Shaq Uncut, he laid out the framing he has stuck to ever since. At one time, my ex-wife Shawnee and I were happy, but I admit it, I was a guy. I was a guy with too many options. In a 2022 episode of The Big Podcast with Shaq, while reacting to the Ime Udoka scandal, he went further. He called himself a serial cheater. He called himself the best at it. He said he was not proud of it. He said he had lost his family doing it. He used the phrase, double life. He said he got greedy. On the Pivot podcast in the same window, he refused to put any of it on Shawnee. He said she was awesome. He said it was all him. He said he could have stopped the divorce but didn't because his own actions had made the marriage impossible. In 2024, his wife's memoir, Undefeated, added the missing layer. Shawnee wrote that the cheating wasn't about emotional connection to other women. She wrote that, after the divorce, Shaq had told her directly that the entire pattern had been about ego, getting away with it, the thrill, the validation. Shaq has co-signed that framing in later podcasts. He has said his ego drove it. He has said he had the perfect situation, the beautiful wife, the kids, the house, and and still messed it up. He has said the happiest days of his life were hearing the word daddy when he walked through the door, and he has said the loneliest days of his life were the ones inside the same big empty house after the divorce. He categorizes cheaters now: serial cheaters, James Bond cheaters, forced cheaters. He still has flashes where his framing slips into something more controversial, but he always loops back to the same place. He was the problem. Next on the list is Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas, known across his career as Agent Zero, was a three-time All-Star with the Washington Wizards and one of the most electric scorers of the mid-2000s. Since retirement, he has reinvented himself as the most blunt and unfiltered voice on NBA relationship culture through his podcast, No Chill Gil, also produced under the Gil's Arena umbrella. He is not on this list as a man in an open relationship. He is on this list as the man who keeps explaining, in plain English, why open relationships are not what's actually happening in the NBA. In a widely circulated 2023 clip, Arenas warned young players to brace themselves for a specific reality. He claimed that 70% of y'all girlfriends gonna sleep with another NBA player while you're dating, and that they had better get that thought over with before stepping in the league. The clip went viral instantly. His framing wasn't about consent, it was about overlap. Players move through the same parties, the same cities, the same circles. Wives, girlfriends, and side situations all overlap inside that fishbowl. He was describing infidelity, not openness, and the difference matters. He has spent multiple podcast episodes detailing the mechanics of the season, the flights into different cities at 1 and 2 in the morning, the strip clubs as the after-game default, the hookups with different women in every city. He has also been clear about the seasonal pattern: less faithful during the season, when the family is back home and the routine enables secrecy, more faithful during the off-season, when the family is around. The most quoted Arenas admission came in a 2025 live stream with the streamer N3On. He described his own pattern in his marriage in a way that doubled as a job description. I lied to my wife every day, 10, 12 lies a day. That's my job, to lie. Her job is to try to catch the lie. That single line went around the internet for months. He has framed lying as the operating system of NBA infidelity, cover stories, fabricated whereabouts, a constant rotation of details that have to stay straight across multiple women. What Arenas describes is the opposite of an open relationship. There is no consent. There is no transparency. There is no second girlfriend sitting courtside next to the first. There is just a tightly managed information war between a player and his partner, played out on the road, in the strip club, in the hotel. He has also pointed at the more serious form of betrayal: teammates sleeping with each other's partners, friends crossing those lines. He calls those moves foul, not free. The next name on the list lived that script in front of a reality television audience: Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson is a Canadian power forward and center who won an NBA championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016. He has played for the Cavs, the Lakers, the Bulls, the Pacers, and others. None of that defines his public profile. His public profile has been defined almost entirely by one of the most documented cheating timelines in modern celebrity history. He belongs on this list as a counterexample. Whatever Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson had, it was never an open relationship. It was a serial pattern of getting caught. Khloe and Tristan started dating in 2016. Their daughter, True, was born in April 2018. Their son, Tatum, was born by a surrogate in July 2022. The relationship ran on a continuous cycle of breakup, reconciliation, and breakup again until the final split in late 2021. The first wave hit in October 2017 when Khloe was around 3 months pregnant. Surveillance video from a Washington, D.C. lounge surfaced months later, showing Thompson with multiple women. Days before True's birth in April 2018, more video and photo evidence dropped out of New York. He was spotted at a rooftop lounge with a woman, then walking into a hotel with her. Sources at the time labeled him a serial cheater. Khloe was reportedly furious. He was still in the delivery room when their daughter arrived a few days later. The second wave came in February 2019 with the Jordan Woods incident at a Bel Air house party. Woods was Kylie Jenner's best friend. The fallout torched her place inside the Kardashian-Jenner inner circle and ended Khloe and Thompson's relationship for the first true time. They reconciled. The reconciliation also ended. The final wave was the most devastating. In March 2021, while reportedly engaged or seriously back together, Thompson conceived a son named Theo with personal trainer Marilee Nichols in Houston. The encounter happened on his birthday. Court documents later confirmed it. Nichols filed a paternity suit. A paternity test in January 2022 confirmed Thompson as the father. The detail that broke the public on his behalf was the timing. In the same window as the Nichols encounter, he had encouraged Khloe to move forward with the embryo transfer for their son Tatum. He apologized. He posted an Instagram statement. He told Khloe she didn't deserve the heartache and humiliation. He took full responsibility. He sat down on the Kardashians for a long overdue conversation with Kourtney and Kylie and called his own behavior personal failings. Khloe has said she forgave him for her own peace, not because she forgot. She has said she stayed initially out of family stability in the hope he would change. She has talked about feeling shame for not leaving sooner. There was no agreement. There was no openness. There was just one of the biggest reality television families in the world watching one of its stars get betrayed in HD. If you enjoyed watching this video, then go ahead and click on any of the cards on your screen for more.